last week, as you all remember, the ones who saw the seminar, we discussed about macronutrients. I'm just gonna make a brief summary. We discussed the importance of knowing the difference between proteins, carbs, and fats, trying to identify a little bit what's the difference, the main difference between these three main groups, what's in it in each and every group, and also to learn that sometimes there can be an overlapping of certain foods that can be a good source of protein, but as well they can also have a little bit of fat. So, or the other way, we can have some carbs that have some protein, or some proteins that have some carbs. Either way, we just have to, the more we know, the better we do our diet. And the DNA testing, as I mentioned you before, that's the use case of genetics. We're trying to make tailor-fit solutions that makes us or enables us to make clear decisions about how to approach our lifestyles, how to improve on our lifestyle. Okay, so that was it for last week. I showed you some pictures on these differences, and today we're going to see the micronutrients. I'm going to share you my slide, so we can now see it here. Some of you may think this looks a lot like or similar to last week's presentation. Yes, it is, because as I told you, I like to keep the format the same, but the content is different, as you will see in a little bit. So we're going to learn about micro or micronutrients, and I just have three main objectives for today. I want all of you to understand, first of all, the importance of micronutrients. I also want you to recognize some problems related with micronutrients deficiencies, or like why it is so important. This goes in hand, knowing the importance, we can also learn to identify certain problems or diseases that are related with this. And the third objective of today is to learn where can I find or what are the good sources for these micronutrients. First of all, what is a micronutrient or micronutrient? Please correct me. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but a micronutrient, it's a chemical element that it's required in very small amounts for our bodies. And it's required for a normal growth and development, but it's also it's very important, because without this, even though we need, like the word itself says it, micro, we just need a fair small amount of it, but without this we can have very severe problems. Okay, so what elements comprises micronutrients? These are comprised by vitamins and minerals. Why? Okay, well, first of all, as I told you before, the body produces enzymes, hormones, and other substances essential for growth and development. I mentioned you that some hormones also require fat as their main raw material, but these small amounts of vitamins are the ones who are going to give like the final shape for the hormones, or the final touch for this to work. So it's very important for us to have a very healthy lifestyle. With the tips that I'm going to give you further on, I'm pretty sure that you and all of the people who are around you are going to have a better lifestyle. You're going to learn a little bit more about micronutrients, and you're going to have better informed decisions to make. So as you may know, our bodies can synthesize some vitamins, but not all. Most vitamins cannot be synthesized by our body, and hence we need to acquire them either from the diet or from supplements. Okay, and this is just a tiny reminder that even though we only need trace or very small amounts of these elements, the consequences in our body are severe or can be severe. Here in this slide presentation, you can all see this is a snip or just a part of the test, the DNA health and wellness test. And as you can see here, we included the vitamins and supplements or vitamins, the micronutrients predispositions. Why predispositions? This is a very important fact to quote or to state the difference, because I have had a lot of people coming here and telling me, oh, does this mean that if I have a warning signal in some vitamin here, does it mean that I have a low store or low storage in my body? Do I need to take more? And my answer is no. This is predispositions. So it means that your body may not be able to metabolize it in the way it's supposed to be, or your body may have certain predisposition to have lower amounts, lower reserves. Remember that for knowing if we have deficiency of any of the vitamins, the test done for this, it's a blood test. But with the genetic test, we can know in advance if we're going to have some problem or some trouble ahead. Okay, so this is even better because with this DNA health and wellness test, we're doing preventive medicine. Remember of this, we're doing preventive medicine. The objective of preventive medicine, it's to avoid the consequence, to avoid the disease. Therefore, we must start beforehand to take some action into our health and do some things or change some patterns that may not be adequate for our health or for our body. So when we do our DNA test and we have a warning signal, like you can see here in vitamin D, you see a red warning signal. This means that watch out. You might be like ahead. You may have a problem with vitamin D. So what's the correct approach? Okay, if my DNA, that's my core talking to me. My DNA is, we discuss about this, is how we are made of and how our body functions. If my DNA is telling me that I may have some problem for vitamin D concentration, then I can get ahead of the problem, and before doing a blood test and getting the results and knowing that I have a low concentration of vitamin D, I can just start changing my behaviors, taking supplements or taking some other foods rich in vitamin D that can help me to prevent this event. Okay, so as you can see here, the benefit, look at the blue screen. Vitamins are important for keeping our body healthy. A lot of vitamins help us also to boost our immune system, which is the system in charge in our body to fight diseases. So it is very important for us to be fully prepared with all of our vitamins, like fully to 100%, so we don't have any trouble fighting diseases or with our growth and development. Here on this slide, you can see some side effects. I don't want to go too deep, showing you too much the side effects, but just vitamin A can cause you dry skin. It can cause you also night blindness or night blurred vision. In some cases, we have seen infertility, some infections, most of them on the skin and eye problems. So therefore, we must play it on the safe side. Having some extra doses of vitamin A doesn't harm us. So we have to take that into consideration. Vitamin B6, along with the complex of vitamin B, all of the vitamin Bs, B1, B6, B12, all of them are for neurological functions. If we have some low reserves on these vitamins, we can have some dried mouth and lips. We can have frequent sickness, low energy. We can have even be very irritated or in a bad humor, mood swings. I'm going to leave folate to the end, vitamin B12, continuing with the vitamin B complex. We can have some fatigue, some oral sores, and some vision impairment. As you can see, all of these are connected with the neurological system. Vitamin D, most of the we can get some vitamin D from the, we'll see it in the next slides. We can see it, we can get it from the ultraviolet rays from the sun in our skin, or we can get it from the food. But if we don't have enough vitamin D reserves, we may find some fatigue, some aches, some chronic depression, and most important, we have related some mechanisms relating vitamin D with calcium absorption. So if we don't have proper vitamin D reserves, we may also have some problems in our skeletal system or the bones structures, the bone. Have enough vitamin D. Good sources of micronutrients. Well, we can get our daily intake amount of vitamins and minerals. As I told you before, these we have to get it daily, and we have to get it from an outside source because our body cannot synthesize all of them. And even though in vitamins we can do a separation between liposoluble and hydrosoluble. Liposoluble, or the ones that are stored in our fat cells, can last a little bit longer in our system, so we can go a little bit more without consuming them. But the hydrosolubles, we have to take them daily, because as the moment we take it in, the body will absorb the amount that the body needs in that moment for our functioning, and the rest is going to be disposed. This is a continuous intake that we need to take into consideration, because our body cannot last longer without this. Which ones are better? A lot of patients ask me whether to take supplements or take it from a rich and diverse healthy diet. That answer depends on each and every one of them, because everyone has a different active lifestyle. I encourage all of you to have to change and to seek for a healthier lifestyle, but that doesn't mean that taking supplements or only going into a healthy diet. That's according to your needs. You need to see how's the availability of these rich foods in your country. You need to see how's your lifestyle, if you have time to prepare some food, to have enough and different amounts of fruits and vegetables. But if you don't, then supplements is the right answer. Supplements can give you the necessary intake or the daily necessary intake for you to be covered, and they work perfectly fine. So whichever ones you are comfort with, whatever you decide, either healthy diet or supplements, both are correct. I want to show you here a quick view of some good sources of vitamin A. Of course, the DNA Health and Wellness test also has some advice and some recommendations based on your DNA, and whatever your DNA results are. We can provide some information about what are the proper solutions or some recommendations on the food intake, as well as the 30-day actionable plan that comes after we see your Halo data onwards. If you use it for 30 days and then we match it or we correlate it with your DNA, and then we provide you with this simple plan, that's also a way for you